everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I am finally showing you what is in the September VIP box from Swag Supplies UK. I just haven't got round to it yet. I've had it for a little while now, and every time I see it in my drawer I keep thinking, oh, I need to open that and do a video, and I just don't get around to it. So here we are finally. It's a bit late, but better late than never. So let's have a look what we've got in here, and then of course I will do a design with one of the products as well. So let me just get the little leaflet that tells you what is in here and how much it will be and all that sort of information. So here's the names of everything that are in here and how much they will be. Total cost for all of them put together when they're sold individually will be £14.35. They are not on sale until the 7th of November. That is what the fun thing is about having these monthly boxes, is you get products before everybody else, and you also get them for cheaper than everybody else because of course they're £12.99 for a box. You can use my 15% off discount code, so you get even less off, even more for your money for even less money. So yeah, let's get straight into it and have a look what we've got. So we've got this beautiful mermaid foil. Wow, I mean, if that's not holographic, I don't know what is. That is crazy bright and fun. I love that. So that's product one. And the good thing about these boxes as well is you always get such a mixture of products. Like, it's not all of the same sort of thing. Like, you get a mixture of different nail art stuff, so it's really good. And then we've got this glitter here, which is called Snazzy, and that is exactly the word I would use to describe this glitter. So that is perfect naming there. And it is like cerise pink fine metallic glitter with holographic hexes in that I think are blue. It's very different. Love that. And then we've got Tropical Mylar. Again, stunning. Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? That might have to be the one that I use in the video because it is just so stunning. I can't stop looking at that. That's beautiful. And then next we've got another glitter which is called Starry Eyed. I'll just pop these next to each other because they do look similar, but they're absolutely not the same at all. So one on the left again is a pink base with blue, but it's got stars in it and it's a different shade of blue. So these are like royal blue hexes and they're holographic. These are metallic and are like a teal sort of colour. You can see it better on that side. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then we've got Fairy Garden Chain in 18 inches you get of this, which is obviously a lot. That would last you a long time. That's how long it is, just for, oh gosh, for context. And it is green and pink. Hopefully I can capture it, but it's like green when you look at it in one way, but then when you shift it, it's pink. That is beautiful. I don't really use things like this, and I wish I did because that is stunning. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And then we've got Espresso Pigment, which of course is going to be perfect for autumn. And that is what that looks like. Beautiful colour. So that is everything that is in this month's box. And like I said, I think I am going to use the Tropical Mylar for the video, like for the design that I'm going to do, because it is just absolutely stunning. So I just need to have a quick think about what I'm actually going to do with it. I'm thinking like mermaid theme, just because it is so pretty. And I feel like some mermaid scales over it would look stunning. But that's not very like this time of year, is it? So it's going to be a bit out of season to do that. So let me have a little think. I don't think I'm going to be able to like incorporate this into autumn nails, to be honest, because it is so far away from an autumn colour scheme. But it is technically still summer at this point, so I feel like it's not too, like, it's not wrong of me to do some more summer nails. It might have to be the last set of summer nails that I do on the channel. So let me just have a little quick think about what I'm actually going to do with it, and then we can get on with it. Okay, so although I'm not 100% sure on what I'm actually going to be doing, I have got some sort of idea so we can at least get started. So I'm going to use two base colours. So I've actually got a gel polish that's quite similar to the colour we're using, and it looks like this. It's not obviously the same because it is gel polish, but it's quite similar. So I think it'll work well as the background colour, and it's a Born Pretty colour. It is Crush Starlight Collection Reflective Glitter Gel SZ14. So I'm going to use that on one nail all over, and then I'm going to be using Dove from Nail Order on the other two all over, and then just do a little patch of the other one. So I've decided to do a summer theme set because, like I said, like it is technically still summer. People are still going on their summer holidays and stuff in September, so we might as well just get one more summer set in, and this will be the last summer set, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm really not a summer nail person, and I am more than happy for them to be moved on from now, basically. Like, let's just move on to autumn, because I love autumn. But yeah, so like I said, 2 nails of this. We're going to do 2 coats of this, and then 2 coats of the glitter on the other nail, and then we're going to do a full nail of the Mylar, and then on the other 2 we're going to do like partial coverage. And I'm going to use this really lovely fun summery plate. I haven't figured out what I'm going to use yet of the plate. I think, I'm not 100% sure, because I love pretty much every image on here. I don't want to use any of these, I don't think, because I think that will cover up too much of the base, which we want in there. So I'm thinking this one, maybe the turtles, because they're cute. This is cute. I really like these feathers, and I just, yeah, I'm not really 100% sure. So I am going to think about that as I go along creating the base for this set. Obviously we will figure it out eventually, but we'll have a proper think about it in a second. So I am actually going to put my Mylar into my gel polish layer. So this is just the first coat of this. It is obviously, as you can see, very good coverage for this type of gel. So I'm going to cure that for a full cure, and then I'm going to pat the Mylar into a wet layer of gel. So that's how I'm going to apply it this time. I'm just going to do the second coats of everything off camera. To be honest, I don't think I'm going to bother with a second coat of this one. I think I'm going to go straight in with my white. I'm not using white. With a nice clear gel polish. So I think I'm just going to use my Kiki London rubber base coat, because it's a bit thicker, but it's not too thick where it's going to add loads of bulk to the nail. But it's thicker, like thick enough for me to press this into it without having any bits stick up and stuff. So I do just need to decant this into something to make it a little bit easier to use. I just nearly threw my e-file on the floor by accident. So I am just going to find my glitter catcher contraption. I don't have a clue where it is. There it is. So I think I'm just going to probably just place it in here, because I don't have any pots spare. So I'll just pop some in here, and then I can use it from that. And then we'll go from there. So I think what I've decided to do is I'm going to do a full cover nail. Still haven't figured out what I'm going to do as of yet, as in which image, but I am going to use this image and this one, I think, because I'm going to use the individual images on the nail instead of doing it like full coverage. So I think I'm going to do like a swirl, like, you know, the typical swirl pattern over the white nails with the glitter. Over this one, we're just going to pop glitter all over it and then do a full stamp in white. And then the other one is we're going to do a swirl of the glitter up like diagonally, and then we're going to do a bit of stamping over the top of the glitter in that respect. So that's what we're going to do. I just need to figure out which one we're going to do on full coverage. But let's apply our Mylar first of all to this full cover nail. So I'm just going to, like I said, sprinkle some of this into this glitter catcher, because it is easy for me to pop the excess back into the packaging. So I'm just going to tap some into here. Don't need too much, definitely didn't need that much. And then we're just going to, there we go. Just move that out of the way. Okay, so now I've got some on here. I'm just going to try and spread it out a little bit. And then, like I said, we're going to be using that rubber base coat because it's nice and thick. So I'm just going to pop a normal layer on here. Like, don't want it thick or anything, just applying it as normal, because the polish itself is thicker with being a rubber base. So we don't need to be applying it thick. And then once that's on, I'm going to get my nail art brush. I'm going to pop a bit of my clear gel on my brush, and then I'm just going to wipe it off both sides so it's sticky but not like too sticky where the product is only going to stick to my brush. And I'm just going to pick this up and place it onto the nail as best I can, like as flat as I can. Some pieces, of course, are not going to be flat, because this is the sort of product, like Mylar and stuff, is the sort of product typically that I would use to encapsulate in acrylic. Because then you can sort of use it a bit thicker and not be too worried, because the acrylic will even it out, but obviously we're using it with gel, so we want it to be nice and flush, because we are going to put a clear coat over the top, but we don't want it to be really, really thick. So we're just going to pick up individual pieces basically and fill in the gaps. That's far too thick, so I'm going to take that one off. This is why I didn't want this much in my little pot thing. It's a lot easier with less pieces because you can actually see the pieces that are smaller. I'm just going to pop a few bits on my... Oh, I've done it again. Still done too much, but there we go. So now it's going to be easier for me to pick up individual pieces and actually see the flat pieces. And then we're just going to place those on the nail. So we want a mixture of like the larger bits and the smaller. Different pieces of this Mylar reflect different colours, so we want to make sure we get some different pieces, so we've got a nice array of like the effects that this gives. It's a really beautiful product actually. So we're just placing that on, filling all the gaps. Obviously this is a bit of a time consuming sort of design, so you might not necessarily want to suggest this to a client if you're just like in the salon and got people in all day. Like this would be the last sort of thing you'd want to do. But if you're like me and you set out a decent amount of time for every client because you don't have loads in, then you know, if you know you're going to be doing something that takes a little bit longer, then you absolutely set out the time for it, and it would be worth it, because I have every faith that these nails are going to turn out beautiful. So now you've seen me do a lot of what we're doing, I'm just going to fill in the gaps quickly off camera, just so the video doesn't end up too long and too boring, and then I'll come back ready to do the next step on this nail. Okay, so that is that nail all covered. This is what it looks like. It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to pop that into the lamp. I have also made sure that they're all like as flat as I can get them. Of course it's not going to be perfect because Mylar just isn't that flat, but as long as you make sure that they're as flat as can be, and the majority of them are completely flat, then you'll be fine. Like this is what it looks like from a side angle. So it's not completely smooth, but there isn't any bits that are like sticking up a stupid amount, and that will make the next step a lot easier and will not take off product that we want to not be taken off basically. So I'm going to just press the lamp on for that. I've done my 2 coats of colour on these nails, so we're going to go in with that same gel and I'm going to apply that to the nails in a swooping motion. So this one's going like that, and then the other one will go the other way around, and then again we're going to, actually no, that's not what I was meant to do in that scenario. I'm going to just wipe that off because I did miss a step there. So we're using that base that we used on the other nail again, and I'm going to apply this in the same way that I just applied that clear gel. So I'm just going to bring that down like so, because we want this behind our Mylar like we did on that other nail. So I'm just going to do that on that one. I'm going to sort it out in a second, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this one but the other direction, like so. Just doing it quite rough, doesn't need to be perfect, and then I'm just going to gently blend out the sides a little bit so we don't have like a thick line. There we go, and then we're going to pop that into the lamp so it's spread out nice and thin, and while that's curing we can continue with this nail. So I'm going to use that rubber base coat again, and I'm going to place a layer of it over the nail. I'm not applying it, well I am applying it thick actually to start with, because I want it to seep in between all of those Mylar pieces. So I am applying it quite thick at the beginning, like sort of building with it, but I'm not going to leave all of that product on there. I'm just doing that to make sure that there is enough product on my brush and on the nail to get between all the pieces, and then once it's gone between all the pieces I can brush off the excess. I'm going to go over and brush off some of the excess product because we don't want it to be really thick, because it has still got to cure properly and stuff. But if you just swipe over with a bit of product, it doesn't tend to get in between all the pieces as well. So I like to apply it really thick and then just take off the excess. It's not necessary. And then once I've done that, if we look, it is still a bit lumpy bumpy, but we're going to sort that out. But it's a lot smoother than it was, and we've not got any really sharp bits sticking up. So we're going to pop that in the lamp, and then those two I've just put in are now done, so we can take those out. So with these, we're going to do it exactly the same way as we did with that one I've just done with the full nail. So we're just going to place some of that base coat product over the glitter colour, and then we're going to put some of the Mylar on top of it again. So I'm just going to place that along where the glitter is. That's far too thick. It's about 100 pieces stuck together there with that one. Again, not going to do it all on camera because it's going to get very repetitive and very boring. So I'm going to do this quickly. Well, it won't be quick, but I'm going to do this off camera, and then I'll come back when it's all done. So I'm just sticking pieces along this area, and then the same on the other nail, and then we can get on with the stamping. Okay, so those two are in the lamp for a second, just fully curing. I'm just going to take the tacky layer off this full coverage one, because we're going to give this a very quick buff over to get it nice and smooth. So I'm just going to take it off this, because I'm going to end up yanking it off it with the buffer anyway. So I'm going to go in with just your everyday bog standard white buffing block. I'm going to use that. I'm not going to use it on my desk because I'm going to get dust everywhere, so I'm just going to do it over the bin next to me. I'm just going over the whole surface, not too aggressively. We just want to smooth it out so we've got no sharp bits, and also get the surface nice and smooth for stamping. So this is what it looks like. If we look from the side, we've not got any like sticking up bits or anything. It's nice and smooth. So I'm going to pop that back on here, and then I'm just going to place that on here, ready for when we're ready for stamping with the other two, because they're just finished now as well. So this is what they look like. Again, we've got a little bit of raised bits, but nothing crazy. So we're going to do the exact same thing again. Coat of the rubber base, again quite thick and floaty over the area where the glitter is, and then just pull off the excess once it's all covered. And then I'm going to pop that into the lamp as well, same with the other one, and then I'll give them a quick buff, and then I'll come back and we can stamp. Okay, so this is what they look like. Obviously we will swap those over, so that one's in the middle when they're done, sort of thing. But this is what they look like. Already absolutely beautiful. Cannot wait to put top coat on, because that is going to really bring them to life. So we just need to do a bit of stamping now. So I'm just going to get a nice fresh sheet of my couch roll, because that one is covered in glitter now. So like I said, we're going in with this plate here. Just need to give it a quick clean. And then we're going to use those two for the two partial nails. So I just had to pause there because Hudson is quite upset. He's not very good at waking up. I mean, neither am I, so that's fine. But anyway, so I'm going to go with, I'm just not sure, to be honest. Let me just have a think. Okay, so I'm going to use this one for the full nail because it's not going to hide too much, and then I'm going to use these two for the partial nails. So let's get on with that. So first things first, I'm going to do the two partial, I'm going to do the full cover one, sorry, just because that's going to be really super quick and easy, of course. So I'm using white gel paint, not gel paint, sorry, white stamping polish, if I can get the bottle open. Yeah, there we go. It's the Moyu one. Absolutely love these polishes for stamping. They're very pigmented and work very, very well. So I'm just going to place that on there, scrape at a 45-degree angle, roll over, and then pick that up and then pop it over my nail. Like so. Very, very pretty. Love that. Can't wait to see it top coated. So for the other two, we're going with white, by the way, because it's nice and subtle, like, because we've got that base of like a whitish colour. I didn't want anything that was too stark, and obviously we've got the glitter as well, so we don't need anything crazy because that is the main focus of the design. So I'm going to do the turtles on this one because I'm hoping to use those ones that are going in that sort of direction, and then these ones here for the other nail. If it goes that easily, then great. If not, it's fine. Like, we will just stamp them individually, and I will do it the non-lazy way. But let's just see how we get on. So I'm just going to have a look what fits. So I think we're going to remove from here, 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 and then the ones surrounding. So we're going to do those 3 in the centre, because I'm not bothered about it going all the way to the top and bottom. So we do want to be able to see that glitter. So I'm just removing all the ones surrounding, and then we can place those 3. I'm going to pop them down around there. So I did twist that ever so slightly just so the bottom one was where I wanted it, but that is what they look like. Very, very cute. They almost look like they're swimming up the stream, which is nice. So we're going to go with the starfish now. So I'm just going to give that another wipe over. Always go over with my finger just in case there's any lint or bits of cotton or anything like that on the image. It's going to interfere. And then again, just wiping off, and then we're going to have a look at this one over here, and I'm going to do those 3. Wait, which 3 is it? Those 3 centre ones. So I'm going to get rid of this and this, and the ones either side as well. Hopefully I've got the right ones here. It's very confusing with it being flipped the other way, but we'll see. I don't know which. I know there's 4 on here. I only want 3, but I don't know which one I'm supposed to be getting rid of. So let's just, actually I might just use all 4 of those because they look quite nice. So I'm just going to place those down. That's perfect. So as you can see, we have got a bit over here. So we're just going to get a clean up. Oh gosh, chipping things over. I'm going to get a clean up brush, some acetone, and just clean that away. Like so. So this is what we're working with now. All we've got to do is top coats. I'm very excited to see them. These Mylar pieces are just beautiful. So let's pop a top coat on now, bring the design to life. So first we've got our tortoises, turtles even. Beautiful. Bit of lint on there. Absolutely stunning. So pop that into the lamp, of course, and then paint the next one while that's in. So we've got the full cover one now. Just look how stunning is that Mylar, and that base colour actually turned out perfect for it. Beautiful, look at that. Wow. And then we're going in with the last one, which of course is the starfish. Stunning. I'm going to pop that in there, and then I'll show you what they all look like when they're all fully cured. So this is what they look like. I absolutely love them, I'm not going to lie. I think they've turned out beautifully. I can't like put them on my brush like I usually would and show you them in that way, so this is how you're going to have to see them, because I don't have any double-sided sticky tape for it anymore. But look, they're just beautiful. I'm just moving my light around so you can see the different colours of that Mylar. It's absolutely stunning. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm so happy with how these turned out. They're just gorgeous. Let me know whether they are up your street or not. I just think they're so cute, and I'll be back very soon with another video. Bye.